And the video of him just, like, cowering and being afraid just shows how much power we really have if we stand up and if we believe in ourselves, because each life is worth the same as another life, and we have to understand that, and we have to push that agenda forward, that we are as equal as anybody else in this world, and nobody's
That's right.
better.
Luke Rudkowski is just as important as Ted Turner, even though his yearly income isn't what Ted Turner makes in a day, in an hour. What we make in a year, Luke, isn't what that man makes in probably 10 minutes. But you know what? The camera is the great equalizer, and our freedom and our humanity proves that when we take that camera and use it like any other tool out there. They use their cameras to propagandize against us, and we use our cameras to tell the world the truth.
Yeah. You know, these people think they're all better and successful because they have all this money, but money doesn't equal success, doesn't equal happiness. If you're happy in what you're doing, if you're happy in life, then you are truly successful. And we all have to remember that. We don't have much, but we have each other, we have humanity, we have the people. We are able to communicate with each other, work with each other, and help each other out. And just doing everything by ourselves and acting instead of reacting to their problems, I think is the solution. And building communities, helping each other out is definitely the key and the way we should all move forward in this, I would say, evolution, and not even a revolution. I think it's more of an evolution of humanity.
I have to agree with you. Let's take a couple calls, and then on the other side of this break, we will play Stephen Colbert and Luke Rudkowski discussing the Bilderberg Group and Bohemian Grove prior to his show. And then if you missed the show, and I think it was the Thursday show, not the Friday show, you've got to see it. So let's take Eric in North Carolina. Eric, you're on the line.
Great job, fellas. Luke, it was a really big score. If you hadn't been carrying your camera in with you, you wouldn't have been able to produce that video, and it was a big score getting him to call out Bilderberg, even if he thought he was joking. Everybody needs to carry a camera and use it all the time. We're going to get the evidence on these people. Look, I heard the rebroadcast of the Oklahoma City bombing press conference they did, and this guy, Harmon Taylor, is a Dallas attorney that got the stay of execution for McVeigh so that he could pursue tort claims against the case for some of his clients, and he has really figured out how to educate people that the Constitution is void now, and we need to understand what's running things. And Jason, do you know this Harmon Taylor guy?
Not offhand. Is he one of the lawyers that represented the guy who died in jail that was trying to speak out against Oklahoma City?
I don't think so. He's from Dallas, and he did what he calls the Terre Haute litigation. He brought in federal court in Terre Haute, Indiana, to prevent McVeigh from being executed so that he could pursue the case and get, because McVeigh himself was evidence and they had victims that he was representing.
I do know that Gore Vidal, the famous author, did go and visit McVeigh, and he espoused that, yes, McVeigh was part of a black ops team, and he kind of made an excuse for McVeigh, saying that McVeigh felt like he was a good soldier by not ratting out his co-conspirators. I appreciate the call, Eric.
One thing. Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Look, I heard the rebroadcast on Randy Kelton's radio show, and Randy's really got a solution that can knock out a lot of these bad guys down, and please look into Harmon Taylor.
Okay, I'll do that. Let's go to Josh in California. Josh, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Jason? I had 2 points. One, I want to commend you on Invisible Empire. Absolutely loved it. For me, it really helped. I knew a lot of that stuff, and for me, it helped kind of simplify it. So when I've sent the video out via email to multiple of my friends. I'm actually going to next Saturday. I'm making a bunch of copies, and my goal is hopefully I don't get arrested. But my goal is to actually go over to law enforcement and try to inform them and hand out your DVDs just strictly to law enforcement on Saturday next weekend.
Well, listen, you won't get arrested if you approach them as sir and ma'am, and you remain respectful, and you try to keep your anger on hold if they say, no, I can't accept it. I've had so many cops, especially in New York City, say that they can't accept a DVD, and then 10 minutes later, I'll go around the corner and across the street, and I'll talk to a cop for 5 minutes about something else and say, hey, do you want this DVD? And then they will take it. So just a suggestion, when you're dealing with law enforcement, sir, ma'am, be as polite as possible, offer them the DVD, but if they say they can't take it, don't preach it too long, just move on. Some of them will take that DVD, and you want that. Even if even if only 1 in 5 or 10 takes it, they are going to show it to their partner. They may show it to their sheriff, their station chief, their entire department if we're lucky. And, you know, that's why I read some of these reviews where a kid who has been ridiculed in his school probably for years about the New World Order was able to convince the teachers to have a screening, and he was probably a well-liked kid, so everybody humored him, and, oh, we're going to go watch Tommy's movie, and we'll all have a good laugh. Well, they didn't come out laughing. They came out in awe and shock, and I've seen this firsthand on so many levels, on so many different occasions. We'll be back after this with Luke Rudkowski, the founder of We Are Change, and we're getting into the Colbert Report and the Bilderberg Group. I am Jason Bermas. It's the Info Warrior. Get Invisible Empire now at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. That is the best part when he points at Luke and he says, "You owe me one, buddy, Luke."
I mean, that's just amazing seeing someone on the mainstream media, and this pretty much hasn't been done ever before, mention the Bilderberg Group, you know, and it's just amazing that other people who, you know, never heard of the term Bilderberg Group will go online and look it up and research it. I mean, millions and millions of people watch the Colbert Show. Almost everybody I know watches it, so that's so many more people watching it. But the conversation I had with him, that was actually half of the conversation. We actually grabbed the camera late, but there was actually more conversation between me and Steven right before we played that clip. So
well, Luke, what's so important about this is the fact that you were not afraid to talk about this subject matter in front of an audience that had no idea who you were, had no idea what you were talking about, and because you braved through some laughter, some chuckling, some cute jokes by Stephen Colbert, you got this huge reward where literally millions of people were introduced to the idea of a secretive organization called the Bilderberg Group, and it's so timely because we're only, I think, what is it, about a month away?
Yeah, almost 2 months. Is going to be in June, early June. I don't know, somewhere in Spain or England. It always changes the last week. Mm-hmm. So whenever it is, we're going to do our best to get out there and make sure we're going to cover the Bilderberg this year, wherever it is around the world.
Well, Luke, I just have to commend you for all the great work you're doing. You are doing incredible work. And I want to remind people that we are taking your calls, 888-201-2244.
The only time we got is right about now. I'll cross my heart. I'll take the vow.
I'm never going to turn. I'm not going to bend. I am going to fight till my last breath, and that should be the attitude of every man, woman, and child that knows how dire the times are at the moment, and they continue to get worse and worse as we as a populace really become more apathetic to things like the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. Oh, we have a new face in the presidency. He's going to save us, and he's going to save the earth from global warming, and everything's going to be okay now that Obama is in. Isn't that right, Luke?
I mean, it's just sad seeing people who are not awakened. But then there's a huge awakening happening every single day. His popularity is going down. But people are seeing through the left-right paradigm, and they're seeing what's right and wrong. And slowly people are waking up, and I do believe there's going to come a time where we will take this system back for what it truly should be, and that's for and by the people.
Absolutely, and we have to have more and more people step up to the plate and do that. That's right, folks. A government run for and by the people. 3 separate sections that are checks and balances. A judicial, an executive, and a legislative. Not just an out-of-control executive branch under national security. All right, let's take some callers. We've got loaded phone lines for Luke Rudkowski, founder of We Are Change, and myself. Nathan in Maryland. Nathan, you're on the line.
Hey,
yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
First off, I have 2 points. Jason, just kudos to you for Invisible Empire. I mean, that movie was off the chain.
Well, thank you.
Really like the graphical enhancements, and that's the most quotes I've seen about the New World Order from officials I've ever seen. I mean, that was just great.
Well, let's stop for a second, and I thank you so much for liking the graphics. When I set out to do this film, I not only wanted it to be better than any other Patriot film out there visually, but I wanted to trump anything the History Channel puts out there as well, to say, hey, we're professionals, we can make documentaries that people can relate to and can sit through because of those graphical elements. Now, on the other side, how many New World Order clips was I able to fit into there? Roughly around 200 different people talking about a quote-unquote New World Order. That's why it really gets me when I see some of these comments, and they're obviously by trolls or people that didn't want to watch the movie or are biased in the very beginning of watching it, saying, I didn't learn anything. There was nothing there I hadn't seen before. That's Johnny nonsense. 80% of the clips in that movie have never been on the web, have never been on YouTube, and were seen for the first time this Thursday, Nathan.